In the name of the God of life and reason, the one beyond whom no thought can ascend, the one who gifted humankind with life and intellect, so that through the light of knowledge, love, and truth, we may find the right path and be freed from the chains of ignorance and oppression. And greetings to you, dear ones, kind-hearted ones, seekers of truth. To the free truth seekers who roam the vast universe, and also to those still shackled in the inherited superstitions of the Qur'an. Today, I want to unveil one of the greatest enemies of humanity, an enemy that is not America, not Britain, not any other nation. It is the Qur'an itself. Yes, you heard correctly. The Qur'an is the enemy of humankind, a book that for 400 years has lain like a heavy chain upon the necks of humanity. This Qur'an, instead of lighting the lamp of reason, extinguished reason and humanity, instead of showing the path to freedom, it commanded slavery. Instead of honoring knowledge, it sanctified ignorance. Let us look not at my words, but at the so-called sweet words of Allah written in this inherited Qur'an. Surah At-Tawbah, verse Arshijo, fight those who do not believe in Allah from among the people of the book until they pay the jizya while being humbled. Fight those who do not follow your religion. Fight the Christians and Jews until they pay tribute not with dignity, but in humiliation and disgrace. Yes, the Quran declares, fight against the scholars. Fight against those who understand. Is this justice? Is this mercy? A religion that claims to be mercy for all creation commands humiliation and oppression? Is justice to place a sword on the neck of people until they pay money and bow to Muhammad's imaginary Allah? Is mercy to bury freedom of belief in chains of slavery and disgrace?
This verse reveals the true face of your inherited Quran. No peace, no equality, no respect for humanity. Only coercion, extortion, and the degradation of human beings whose only crime is not believing in your religion. Is this a religion of mercy? Or a machinery of enslavement and domination? Let us move further, to another sweet word of Allah. Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 216. Fighting has been prescribed for you, even though it is hateful to you. What does this mean? It means war has been made obligatory upon you, even if you hate it. Even if your soul longs for peace, even if your family longs for safety, even if your heart longs for work, life, and progress, still, this verse says, no. You must fight. This command is absolute compulsion, compulsion to shed blood, compulsion to kill and be killed, compulsion to destroy the lives of others. Here there is no talk of freedom of choice, only of imposition. It says even if you do not want to, you must. Even if you detest it, you must. In front of this command, the human being has no rights, no right to question, no right to resist, no right to choose. This single verse clearly shows that the philosophy of war and violence is rooted in the text itself. And that is why, throughout history, generations have been dragged into battlefields of blood and fire in the name of these very verses. Imagine a young man who wishes to build a life, a woman who wishes to be a mother, a child who wishes for a future, all must live under the shadow of this decree. Fighting has been prescribed for you, though you hate it. This is the permanent imposition of war on humanity. This is the sanctification of bloodshed. This is killing declared as a divine duty. And this is exactly why history is drenched in religious wars, massacres, suicide bombings, and endless rivers of blood. So this proves clearly, the Quran can never be the word of God. Dear ones, in the 21st century, it is Shameful if you still cannot distinguish between God and Satan. A God who truly invites humankind to reason, love, kindness, progress, and freedom would never command war, slavery, murder, and violence. But in this text, there is nothing but coercion into bloodshed and the spreading of hatred. Think carefully, this is the same God who says, even if you don't want to, you must fight. Is this the voice of mercy, or the voice of compulsion and cruelty? Is this the voice of God, or of Satan? Is this the voice of truth, or the cry of ignorance and enslavement? A God who drags human beings into the battlefield without choice is no God at all, it is the very Satan hiding in the mask of God, deceiving minds. Let us be honest for a moment. What rational mind can accept that the creator of the cosmos, the maker of galaxies and the laws of nature, would command his servants to shed blood and slaughter? Is such a God compatible with majesty and mercy? Or does he resemble a bloodthirsty tribal warlord, who wants his followers always on the battlefield so that his power and fear remain intact? Friends, if you still cannot see the difference, know this, it is precisely these verses and commands that have burned nations in the fire of religious wars for centuries. It is these teachings that bred the Taliban, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and thousands of other terrorist groups. It is these verses that still spill the blood of innocents in Kabul, Baghdad, Mosul, Paris, London, and New York. This God is no God at all, it is merely a mask upon the face of Satan. And in the 21st century, it is disgraceful that humans cannot grasp this simple truth and free themselves from the bondage of this great lie. Open your eyes and see the truth unveiled. If a text calls humanity to war, bloodshed, slavery, hatred, poverty, and backwardness, it can never be the word of the merciful and compassionate God. For centuries, in the name of this book, people have been deceived, their freedom stolen, their minds chained, and generations sacrificed on the altar of war. Today is the 21st century, a century where science travels to the stars, medicine breaks the boundaries of death, and reason opens new paths to freedom and justice. It is shameful that in such a time, people are still trapped in texts whose only message is blood and blind obedience. Remember this. God, if he truly exists, must be light, reason, love, and freedom, not compulsion, blood, and war. And anything contrary to this, even if labeled the word of God, is nothing but deception and the mischief of Satan. So rise up, think freely, and break the chains of ignorance and fear. May truth triumph over the lies of the inherited Qur'an. Long live reason, humanity, and freedom.
خداوند شما